purchase at Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com, or by calling 1-800-745-3000. They could also be purchased at the box office at the Barclays Center. Once again, the Barclays Center hosting one of the best fights you can make in the world today. That's a credit to Greg Normark and everybody that works for him at the Barclays Center to bring this fight to their building. There's another great show on October 14th. The young man standing right here, Erickson Lubin. Why don't you jump up here for a second, Erickson?
Hammer time.
To the sensational 154-pound triple header on October 14th. Erickson is fighting Charlo in a fight that should be sensational between two undefeated young studs for a title. There are two other great heavyweight 54-pound championship fights on the card. I want to announce right now that there's a special promotion that we're putting into effect. The PBC Championship Package. People can sit in the same seats for October 14th and November 4th. By calling Ticketmaster.com or calling the group sales team at the Barclays Center, you can sit in the same seats, get a special discount on tickets, and no service fee. So is a reduced price if you attend both events, and you actually have almost like a fall ticket package. You're sitting in the same seats for October 14th and November 4th. Erickson, want to say one word again?
I want to say everybody get your tickets now. There will be fireworks October 14th as well as November 4th. So get your tickets now, man. It's hammer time.
Thank you. I want to bring up the man that's making this possible and that's going to be able to bring it to such a huge audience. This is a great, great heavyweight fight. And again, people don't have to dip into their pockets. They just have to be Showtime subscribers. And anyone who's a boxing fan who's not a Showtime subscriber is out of their mind anyway. So I'm going to bring up the man that makes the fights for Showtime, runs Showtime Sports, Steven Espinosa.
Thanks, Lou. This has been a strong year for boxing. More specifically, it's been a really strong year for Showtime Boxing. Wilder Ortiz will be the 23rd live boxing event on Showtime this year. And they've been important fights, meaningful fights, not showcases, not a big name versus a nobody. In fact, 16 times this year on Showtime, we featured an undefeated fighter taking on another undefeated fighter. That's 16 times this year alone. So we know on Showtime, you're seeing the best fighting the best. No other network is doing that. No other network is as committed to delivering the most significant, the highest quality fights in the sport of boxing. So without question, it's been a great year. But we may have saved the best for last year. We've got two top 5 heavyweights, maybe top 2, top 3, depending on what rankings you look at. Both undefeated, combined record, 65-0, 60 knockouts. This is the best fight that can be made in the heavyweight division. There's no question in that. It'll be the 8th world title fight that Showtime has featured over the last 2 years. Obviously, a good number of those have featured the man to my right here. I know Deontay wants to unify the division and have an undisputed champion. I know Showtime wants the same thing. I know the fans and the media want the same thing. The only way to do that is for the best to fight the best, which is happening on November 4th. So we can't wait. We'll see you then.
Okay, this is a kind of announcement that would have made Jake LaMotta proud. We have on the phone King Kong, Luis Ortiz, certainly one of the greatest amateur heavyweights in the history of boxing. Undefeated as a pro, a knockout artist in his own right. Kelly, can we get Luis to say a few words?
Yeah, Steve, I'm here.
Okay, Luis, can you just have him say a few words and then we'll come back for Q&A?
So he says he's here, he's ready to go. He's excited about the fight. And he wants to just get there November 4th and do what he has to do.
Anything else before we break for a minute and then we'll come back to Q&A?
No, he's fine. He's ready to go.
Okay, stand by for the questions.
King Kong Ortiz, by the way, has been sort of like the boogeyman of the division. Everyone has known that this is the toughest guy out there to fight. You haven't heard Anthony Joshua screaming, "I want to fight Luis Ortiz." You haven't heard anybody screaming, "I want to fight Luis Ortiz." And a lot of people were shocked to hell when they heard that Deontay Wilder wants to fight Luis Ortiz. Not only wants to fight him, but insisted upon it. Before I bring up Deontay, I want to bring up his great friend, trainer, co-manager, JD's, who's been screaming at me for the last 6 or 8 months. And by the way, the inactivity since the last fight, it really has been due to our desire to fight the best and not to fight a mandatory that no one had any interest in seeing. And this is how long it took to get this deal done. And this is the deal the champion wanted. This is the deal Jay wanted. Jay, why don't you come up and say a few words?
Just everything in camp is going well. It's great to be up here in New York. Last time we were in New York, it was a wonderful thing. The Spilka fight had a great crowd. We expect another great crowd. This is an even bigger challenge. I see Shelly Finkel out there who works with us. And I'm telling you, this is the fight the fans wanted. This is the fight we wanted. Deontay has always wanted the biggest challenges. A lot of people don't know that. We went to Las Vegas to fight the title fight with Romain Stavern in Las Vegas, his hometown. We tried to go to Russia to be the first American heavyweight in history to defend his title in Russia. Of course, that didn't happen, and we all know what those circumstances were. So here we are now, the biggest fight that can be made, Wilder and Ortiz, 65-0, 60 knockouts. The two guys in the division that nobody really wants to fight, both of them said, you know what, let's fight each other. So camp is going great. We're excited about it. We think that it's a great opportunity for Deontay to show everybody just who he is and where he is. And I think it's going to be well worth everybody's time and effort to be there at the Barclays Center. And thank you especially to Showtime for putting this on. This is going to be a tremendous event, and I think it's just must-see TV. I think during that day of the fight, you're going to find yourself just washing the car, maybe going to the mall, going somewhere, shopping, just keep looking at your watch. Like, when's that fight going to come on? It's, like the day can't go fast enough. It's going to be that kind of day, November the 4th. But we promise you it's going to be well worth the wait. It's going to be wonderful, and we're looking forward to it. Thank you guys for having us.
I want to again acknowledge Deontay's co-manager, Shelly Finkel. Thanks for being here, Shell. And also want to thank Al Heyman and Premier Boxing Champions, Sylvia, Brad, Sam, the whole team. Once again, the PBC is involved in one of the very best fights that you can make in the sport of boxing. And that's what it's all about. Letting the best fight the best, encouraging the best to fight the best, and making the fight that the champions want. And that's what's happening on November 4th. Great matchups make the sport. There's nothing better, no better theater, no higher theater than a great boxing match. But a great heavyweight title fight is different than anything. There's nothing like a great heavyweight championship fight. And on November 4th, a great champion is going to fight a great contender. This is a terrific fight. You this one too. And no illusions, it's a real hard fight. A Cuban legend, amateur boxing legend, a guy with knockout power, a lefty, a difficult fight. I called him the boogeyman before, but he is, because this is a guy that is scary. But I'm confident because I know how good the man behind me is. And I know that the man behind me, more importantly, he knows how good he is. And I'm a little bit pissed off at the negativity he's had to deal with. He's had to deal with unclean fighters, guys that were dirty, taking PEDs, fights canceled, about to get on a plane to go fight a supposedly great fighter in PD Vetkin, and have that fight canceled after an entire training camp. Then getting in the ring in a couple of weeks' notice and suffering 2 severe injuries. And we had to then, the people around him did insist after that fight that he had to get in the ring and test himself before he took the fight, the kind of fight he really wanted. And the fight he really wanted was the hardest, most difficult guy out there at that moment that was willing to fight him. This isn't a 43-year-old champion on his last legs in Luis Ortiz. This is a hungry beast that wants to beat this man. But this man's a champion. He's not doing this for the money. A lot of people would think this is a dumb economic move. This is a legacy move. This is a move to prove who is the best. We're not afraid of Anthony Joshua. If he was available on November 4th and wanted to fight him then. But it wasn't. So what's happening? We're fighting the toughest guy out there because this man wanted to. So it's my honor to bring up the heavyweight champion of the world, the American heavyweight champion of the world, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, with the highest knockout ratio in the history of the sport, the Ande the Bronze Bomber.
Talk to him, Lou.
I don't think that's more to say. Man, he had me pumped. I don't know if y'all ain't pumped. Lou had me pumped, man. But first off, I just like to give thanks to God, man, who's the hell of my life. Just like to thank Showtime. Man, y'all done put on some hell of a fights this year. And like you said, to say the best for last, I cannot wait. I like to thank my man Shelly Finkles, Shay Dees, Al Heyman. It's been crazy. I can just remember when I called Al, I'm like, Al, I said, it's time. No more playing games, no more. Ain't no more sitting back, ain't no more staying silent. It's time to move. So with that being said, not only was it time to move in boxing, just my whole career in general, outside the ring as well too. I done added new people to the bomb squad that's gonna benefit and do the things that they gotta do for boxing. Cause it's about to be crazy, we about to take over. I don't know about y'all, but we about to take over. I am the best. I am the toughest heavyweight in the division. I am the man in the division. I don't care what anybody else got going on in their country or what they doing. You gotta come through me and see me. And on November the 14th, or November the 4th, I'm sorry. November the 4th, I got so much stuff going on, it's crazy. November the 4th, Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, it's gonna be a hell of a fight. So many naysayers, so many, just like he said, he said everything. He said everything that I wanted to say. That's why I'm smiling. I don't really have too much to say, but I'm telling you, this is gonna be a crazy fight. And it's gonna be a fight that it definitely ain't gonna go the distance. I'm thinking about 3 rounds. And the way and come that night, it might be in the first round. You never know. I've been tired, man. I've been tired hearing people blather their mouth, run their mouth, saying shit on the internet. They want to say in front of my face. Here my face right here. Here I go. For all the naysayers in here, because it's a lot of them in here. Don't act like it's not. For all the naysayers, here I am right here. Here I am right here. Put some more fuel to the fight. Because I'm gonna whoop Luis Ortiz ass. I know he on the phone hearing it. I hope you hear it. I hope you hear it. It's gonna be crazy. I talk that talk, so I know I have to walk that walk. And walking that walk, I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no problem with it at all. I am the best. And I'm gonna show you. Instead of talking, I'm gonna show you I'm the best. And when I do defeat him, when I do knock him out, I want my well-earned due respect. I want my well-earned due credit. I don't want nobody to say nothing else. You got the only American heavyweight champion of the world right here. And y'all rather support a foreigner. Y'all rather support foreigners and shit like that when y'all got the man right here. Ain't nobody ain't better than me. Ain't nobody tougher. Ain't nobody stronger. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. They running from me. They all scared of me. I'm the only heavyweight in the division with one knockout power. I've shown you that over and over and over again with grown-ass men. Say what you want, they grown men. I'll take you somewhere in Atlanta right now and put you against 10 bombs. I bet you won't knock them out. So hold the bombs, hold all that comment, because November the 4th, they're going to go down. And when they do, we'll see. And after that, y'all already know who's going to be next. I'm ready to unify. I've been ready, and I'm so serious. I'm so serious. If he the boogeyman, then I can't wait to shine a light on the boogeyman, because the boogeyman is only effective at night. That's it. And we in New York too, so you already know what happened to King Kong in New York. So it's a double whammy, baby. November 14th. This right here ain't gotta really be advertised too much. It is what it is. It's the most scariest heavyweight title fight in history. Because you got two. November the 14th, man. Y'all be there.
November the 4th.
November the 4th. I got something going on
Bomb
14
squad.
with my kids and stuff like that, so they on my mind too. But November the 4th, be there. It's gonna be a good one. Thank you.
November the 14th is going to be at Disneyland. And by the way, I want to say something. Give him credit now. Give him credit now. How many guys do this? This is throwback stuff, man. When I said before, this Jake LaMotta-like stuff, this is throwback stuff. Who leaves money on the table? Who pays money to fight someone harder? And no offense to Luis Ortiz, he ain't exactly a giant draw. I mean, most of his career was in Cuba. You know, great fighter. And I'm not saying he deserves this opportunity because he's a great fighter. He's given it to him because he's a great fighter. But this doesn't happen often. This is some crazy shit that this guy's doing here. And now we'll open it up to questions.
Thanks, Lou. Chris de Blasio in the back here. We're going to ask Jay Jimenez, the manager for Luis Ortiz, who's on the phone. Jay, can you hear us?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, so we're going to do a couple of questions that we took. We polled some of our teammates and a couple of guys in the press here. Thanks for giving us a few questions. I think we have to start with Jay. Ask Luis about the comments that Deontay is making here. He's demanded this fight. We want to know if Luis is surprised by this and if he feels this was a mistake on Deontay's part.
¿Tú estás oyendo con lo que dice él?
Yes, of course. He's glad of talking. He's glad of talking.
Y si crees que es que está haciendo algo más por correcto para contigo.
No, no está nada. Eso pelea con una mujer.
He says Wilder does a lot of talk. He says Wilder sounds nervous. He keeps forgetting the date of the fight. And a mistake? No, he doesn't think it's a mistake. He's taking the fight. He thinks he's taking the fight because he has no other choice, and there's nobody else to fight. But you know, he does feel that Wilder's not going to come out and knock nobody out the first round or the third round. He feels that Wilder's going to do a lot of running, and Wilder should be careful what he says to the live press about coming out to knock anybody out, because he's going to do a lot of running and embarrass himself from all that running.
Thank you. Deontay has talked about the criticism he's received so far, and he's unhappy with that. I want to know what Luis thinks about Deontay's resume professionally so far.
Que tú crees de la gente hablando de que no es bueno y que el récord de él que no es boxeador.
No boxeador, no por el más. La acaba de llegar por el mi tiempo.
He says no. He says they're wrong. He says Wilder's not there for nothing. He says there's no way he's a bad boxer, and the critics are wrong. He wouldn't be where he's at and be heavyweight champ of the world if he was a bad boxer or above. But he thinks that this time he fucked up.
Eloquently stated.
I should ask you, in light of the hurricanes that have been coming through Florida, what is the situation in Miami? Obviously, your flight was canceled for today. We had Hurricane Irma a week ago. What's the situation in training camp, and how will you deal with those kinds of distractions?
Well, we had no power for 5 days. And the fact that we couldn't make it was another hurricane, Jose, that was up in New York area. So our flights got canceled. We were in the airport 6 hours yesterday, trying to get out there, and all flights got canceled to New York. And as far as Irma, yeah, last week it was a little hard because we didn't have no power, we couldn't really train, so Lewis just did running every day. But we're fine now. We're ready to go and up and running.
So looking forward to November 4th and trying to become the first Cuban heavyweight world champion. Tell us what that would mean to you and your legacy and perhaps to the nation of Cuba.
Let me ask Lewis, siendo el primer chance de ser el primer campeón de Cuba, ¿qué significa eso para ti? ¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Qué significa?
No, ahora no tengo palabras. Es más
Yeah, Lewis says to him, we got a little teary-eyed. He says, for him, man, that'll be the biggest pride and the biggest thing in the world for him to be a part of history. You know, he already knows it's big and exciting for him just to get this far to face a guy like Wilder for a chance of the belt. But if God is on his side and he wins, it'll be the biggest thing for him in the world and for his family and the country of Cuba.
All right, thank you, Jay and Lewis. We'll go to questions for Deontay. If you guys could stay on the line and we have any other questions from press for you, we'll come to you. We'll keep this line open. Thanks.
All right, no problem. We're here.
Sam, open up the mic here, please.
You can hear me, right? Yeah, of course.
No, we need to hear it. It's on the screen. It's on the screen.
Deontay, talk about why it was so important for you to demand this fight and not go the mandatory route with the rematch with Stavern.
Well, first of all, Stavern, come on, man. I convincingly beat him. I whooped him so bad, I beat him to an inch of his life, which I told him I would do that. Most time when I say I'm gonna do something, it always come around, and so I feel like Stavern wasn't ready for me at this moment in time, Boxing, we try to keep it safe in a brutal sport, if that makes sense. And Stavern only fought one time, and got dropped, and a lot of them said he lost, and I feel like I was more active, and he wasn't ready for me at this time, and what was the other question you said?
How surprised were you that he even got back into the mandatory position because he only fought once?
Man, I don't know what goes on with the rankings. I don't really keep up with that ranking stuff and all that, to be honest. The heavyweight division is too small, and to keep up with some of the small things, I don't care about rankings. I'm the champion, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's trying to get to me. So whatever position they stack up in, let's do it. That's how I feel. Let's do it. I ain't scared of nobody. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to run from nobody. I was raised to look you in your face, and when I demand respect and I put a threat on you, I shake your hand, so I know it's a sign, seal, and deliver.
Deontay, with all due respects to the Klitschko's, there was a long period of time where the division was not very deep.
Where you at?
Right here.
Right there.
Okay.
When it was not very deep. It seems like the division is having a revival now, and you're certainly at the forefront of that. Do you ever look back to the last quote-unquote golden age of heavyweight boxing when you had Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, the second time around with George Foreman, and wonder, like if some kind of way there was a time machine and you could be in a ring with any of those guys?
I mean, I would have loved to step in the ring with some of those guys, man. You're talking about some of the greats in the history of the sport of boxing. I don't know what champion or fighter wouldn't want to go back in time and see what their talent lies between those guys, But now I think it's a new era, I think that boxing is just all around, not even just in the heavyweight division, just all around is making a grand statement. There's been a lot of great fights been put on this year, and we're looking forward to this one right here. Looking forward to the end of this year with this massive fight right here between me and Ortiz. Boxing, especially the heavyweight division, it came out of a dark place, And we all know, you know, a lot of people blame it on Klitschko brothers. The once or twice a year fights and the inactivity outside of the ring, you know, it dropped down, it died, you know. But it's a new era, it's a new time, and you're looking at the undisputed, undefeated, unified heavyweight champion of the world.
Deontay, what is your game plan for this fight? Because both of you are brutal punchers. I mean,
it's only one brutal puncher to be
he punches very hard also.
I'm the only one that.
Back to the original question regarding this fight, because it is a dangerous fight, and what kind of training are you doing regarding to prepare for this, Deontay?
Well, the game plan is, you know, just as usual. You know, we use my attributes that I have. You know, keep them on the stick, set them up until the time comes. You know, plain and simple. Ortiz, you know, when you look at him, of course, he had the Cuban background, school and stuff like that, and he do a great job. You know, he definitely one of the guys that got the skills, the fundamental skills and the boxing skills. That's for sure. You know, you have to give him that, and I like his aggressive style. I love it. I love it. That's one of the reasons why I chose him. That's one of the reasons why people think he's the boogeyman or whatever, because of the style, the aggressive style. You know, and that was the guy that I wanted. I wanted him to prove that I am the man. And if it had to take going through Ortiz, then I was up for that challenge. I would have been up for that challenge years ago, you know, when we first brought this up, but we already know what happened. So this time, Luis Ortiz, don't fuck it up. Stay clean, because we will be checking. Stay clean. Don't fuck this up for me nor you, because I'm going to prove to the world that I am the best.
Hey, Deontay, it seems like this year all the attention, I guess it's kind of follow-up about the attention that's being paid to almost every other division but yours. I mean, you have Mayweather, McGregor, even Broder Garcia, we just saw Golovkin, and Alvarez. Do you think that has hurt the attention that's been paid to you, that there may be a case of boxing fatigue here? I mean, a fight like this should have been on pay-per-view if you had an opponent anybody had heard of. It just seems that business the model just seems to have changed on you and adversely.
Well, you know, this is definitely a pay-per-view fight, that's for sure. You know, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I'm giving the people what they want to see, and it can't get no better than that. You know, I don't really see as anybody overshadowing the heavyweight division. Everybody doing their thing, of course. It's boxing. We all winning. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like I said, that's a new era. You know what I'm saying, in the heavyweight division. Only thing the heavyweight division needs is one champion, one face, and one name. That's Deontay Wilder. You know, the heavyweight division, we need a unified champion so badly. You know, the heavyweight division is small. It's very small. It's not too many great fighters in there, and the best can't fight the best all the time in the heavyweight division. If we fought the best all the time, we won't have nobody. And there's a lot of great talent coming up and stuff like that, but when you unify the division, you have one champion with all the belts, and you got contenders coming up and trying to grab that belt. Now, I think that brings excitement, because now it's no ducking, it's no dodging. If you're a mandatory, you're a mandatory, unless it's something else you get paid suicide money. But other than that, the best gonna fight the best, and that's what I want to do. I want to have all of them. You know, when you see champions get the belts, then you have other belts. You have federations. Oh, you have to fight within 30 days, and you know they do what they want. They would do what they want, and with me, once I get that belt, hey, 30 days, hey, let's do another one. So let's do it. You know, I want to bring it back to the golden days, but just in our era, because it'll never be the same back there. We can forget that, y'all. We can stop talking about it. It's right now. That's what matters. We live in right now. We can't live in the past. The things that we done in the past and things we want to see in the past, it'll never be. We can only make it better for right now. That's why y'all gotta support. Y'all appreciate me now, because I already know when my career is over with, that's when I'll be mostly appreciated. But I don't want that. I want to be appreciated right now.
If I may, Deontay Israel, how are you? I want to take this in a different direction. Looking at the fights that we've seen before, we've seen countries literally back their fighters, go to bat for their fighters. What do you, as a powerful champion who happens to be an African-American male, feel like you have to do to become America's champion and have that Mike Tyson effect, that global effect, that that A-list effect? What do you feel like needs to be done?
Man, first off, man, we talk about this all the time, about other countries supporting their people. And when you come to America, we rather support other people than our own, and it's crazy. It's crazy, especially when you have a black man in the fourth round. Let's keep it real, you know. Especially that, you know. And then you got boxing analysts and former champions and so-called experts. They bashes us too. So when you get non-boxing fans or just casual random fans that come in and hear things, they go to them to see what's going on. If they saying, oh, he ain't fighting nobody, this is a bomb, this is step, then that's what they listening to, and then it become a hearsay. Because thing about it, people don't want to do fact. They don't want to do the research on the fighter and see, oh damn, he did this. They don't want to do that. They want to. It's easier than to hear something and then run and say something. Then you're gonna add a little bit in there because it's never the same once you heard it from that person. Then when you tell it this person, and I think that's one of the reasons that, as far as in America, it's down a little bit. You know what I mean? Our own people bash us. In other countries, no matter how they look. No, they'd be 5-0. That'd be the biggest thing in their country. If I was from the UK or somewhere, I'd be the biggest thing there. Easy. I was from Africa or somewhere where my roots is, I'd be the biggest thing there. Easy. But here in America, it's different because it's for those reasons. And the only thing that, you know, as far as the heavyweight division concerned, the only way I think that could fix that problem is having one champion, one face, one enemy.
We can't do a stare down because Louis is here, but Deontay will pose for you guys.
Louis, get ready, boy, because I'm coming.
Okay, November 4th. Two last things I want to say. Talked about pay-per-view. People keep asking this question, pay-per-view. You don't have to spend $70, $80, $90, $100 for this. It's a great heavyweight championship fight, and this man's delivering it to you on Showtime. And here's another difference from a pay-per-view card. When we announce the undercard, it'll be good. Okay? And then lastly, remember that PBC championship package. Get your tickets for both the 14th and the 4th. You can sit in the same seats, get a discount, get a better deal. Hope to see you on the 14th and November 4th. Thank you all for coming.